It's Madden NFL 23, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Saints and the Falcons, next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, our new season begins with an NFC South matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, here to welcome you to another NFL season. Always an exciting time, CD. And I tell you what, new is the opportune word here for these two division rivals, Atlanta and New Orleans. A couple of faces who have helped define this rivalry behind center, they're now gone. This is going to be an interesting one to watch.
And let's face it, it's a rivalry that always will blaze white hot, but it's definitely different now. Drew Brees gone 1 year from the Saints, Matt Ryan gone the next year from the Falcons, although he's still playing in Indianapolis. This is two teams in flux a little bit, trying to find their footing, although New Orleans still remains confident they can get back to the Super Bowl. Atlanta building for the future.
Set to go, Younghoe Koo ready to do the honors. And we are underway here on EA Sports. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. And here come the Saints, about to begin their first possession. And the man in charge of this offense, his 8th season now in the NFL, former #1 pick, Jameis Winston.
It was terrible to see Jameis Winston suffer his torn ACL last season because he had the Saints rolling in his first year running the show in New Orleans. They went 5-2 in his starts, and they were just 4-6 after he was injured. And how about this? He only threw 3 interceptions, really addressing the big concern people had from his time as a starter in Tampa. New Orleans, they plan to roll with him for a second season and hope that last year's performance will carry over in a full season.
The first carry now, this is Alvin Kamara. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 3rd and short yardage, Winston. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward.
Well, short of them returning it for a pick 6, that was about the worst start you could ask for in this one because your advantage of getting the ball first is gone, and they're set up a short distance from your end zone. Now you're counting on your defense to prevent a touchdown, and your offense, you better be ready to come out swinging on the next series.
Well, the Falcons now get to stretch their wings on offense here, and at quarterback for them is a former 2nd overall pick who spent 4 seasons as a starter in Tennessee, Marcus Mariota.
After losing his starting job in Tennessee and playing as a backup in Las Vegas, many wondered if Marcus Mariota would get another shot to lead a team. Atlanta gave it to him this season as a bridge from Matt Ryan to the next era. Always a good runner, don't discount Mariota as a playmaker who can win games for the Falcons. He did take Tennessee to the playoffs in his 2nd season and gained valuable experience in Las Vegas.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. On 2nd down, a run with Patterson. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Mariota to throw it. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Koo knocks this one through the post. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a first-and-goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit. enough to hold them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. The first time out, they had the interception. That stopped their drive 3 points the other way, so now they work from behind.
They do, but he's got to walk out on the field like he's working from ahead. All right, he's got to walk out like, hey, I just threw a touchdown pass, because all eyes on his team are on him. They gain their confidence from the way he reacts, his demeanor, and how he plays. He's got to show that he has confidence in himself.
From the 31, Winston. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Even in a down year statistically, Juice Landry still produced over 50 catches to lead Cleveland in his final season there. A milestone awaits Landry, though, this season. He's almost a lock to jump into the top 50 all-time for receptions. One of those goes for a first down this time.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Winston to give. It's Kamara. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Play action now. Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara, and he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Kamara up the middle. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Again, it's Kamara. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. There's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Jameis to throw it. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
A good scheme and an early win for this pass rush. They got back there before he could work through his entire progression and ended that play early.
Blake Gillikin on the punt now on 4th down. Cordero Patterson deep for Atlanta. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Now the rookie 5th-round pick. This is Tyler Algier. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Give to Patterson, running to the right. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2. On 3rd down, Mariota. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing, Winston. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he's going to get this down near the 25. On 3rd down, Winston. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Taking it about the 1. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
And that's caught. It's Brian Edwards. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Off the play fake, Mariota. Throw left side here, hauled in by the tight end, Ferkser. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mariota. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Mariota again. And complete to Drake London. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 42. A 3rd down gain of 19.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion. So in Saints territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now Mariota. Got this complete to the tight end, Pitts. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we? We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield. A tight one after one on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta, 2nd quarter action. The Falcons with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To the air again, Mariota. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. To throw again on 2nd down. Mariota. Oh, that'll be incomplete. He took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Throwing. Mariota. This is caught. Touchdown. Kyle Pitts. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Falcons have taken the lead. On that third down call, the goal was to get the ball to their tight end and pick up a first down, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. They got the first down. That was the gravy. He decided to take in the whole meal and rumbled in for a touchdown.
Now the try here for the point after. And he's 1 for 1 on the new year as his kick is good. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it was the tight end Kyle Pitts finishing it all off on the touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Taken in at the 3. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. We'll remind you that coming up tonight, the first Sunday nighter of the new season. And how about this for a matchup? The Buccaneers and the Cowboys from Dallas, 8:20 Eastern. Then tomorrow, Monday night, just one game here in Week 1 this year. And it'll pit the Broncos and Seahawks as Russell Wilson makes his Bronco debut. And, of course, where is it? Seattle. Coincidence? We'll let you decide. On second down, Winston again. Going deep here for Landry. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Winston. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. Blake Gilligan on to punt here as he'll send this one away. A nice little juke. A good return there, 17 yards. And it will be Falcon football. Atlanta regains possession of the football. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on.
Touchdown, Falcons! Brian Edwards, 55 yards. And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
Yeah, and this just looked like a simple, ordinary play to start, but boy, did things change. Once he got free, it was off to the races, and once he hit high gear, there was absolutely no one who was going to stop him.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the catch on the next-gen stats. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is now 17-3. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One-play drive and into the end zone for 6. This will be fielded inside the 5. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The New Orleans offense set to take over. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And this will wind up as Saints first down as he's got this past the 35 to about the 37.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Winston. This is complete to Michael Thomas. The offense on third down tonight, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. No gain on the play there. Nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on fourth.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's Blake Gillikin now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. They decide against going for it on 4th and 1, maybe to the dismay of their offense, but hey, a nice consolation prize down inside the 5.
Nice consolation prize indeed. So maybe the offense is upset, but they showed confidence in their defense by punting it away.
Mariota on first down. Looking there for picks, but intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. It's such a costly interception, nearly a pick six, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it and make sure you take care of the football. That interception almost cost them 6 points. Now their defense has to run onto the field, probably giving the quarterback a few side eyes along the way. They've got to see if they can stop a score.
Kamara is not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard down to the 3. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Again, Kamara hammering for the goal line. He loses the football, and the Falcons grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Pardon me, you know how often we hear about the red zone, right? From the 20-yard line going in, that scoring zone, getting points on the board. A lot of teams call from the 10-yard line in the green zone. That's your money zone. He fumbles the ball inside the money zone. You have one job, take care of the ball. That didn't happen.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. They'll run it with Kamara. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
With the way things have gone in this game, I think they've got to consider going for it here. I realize it's just the second quarter, so they're not panicking, but they need something to give them positive momentum to get things going.
The kick by Lutz is good. And a second field goal here gets them back within 11 now. It's 17-6. Well, Charles, I think you'd have to call that a win for the defense after the turnover already in field goal range, and they had to settle for 3.
Yeah, being the beautiful part is you start so close to the end zone that your thought process on offense has to loosen up a little bit because you're thinking to yourself, you're almost guaranteed 3. Let's take some good shots at the end zone and try and turn it into 6.
And here now come the Falcons. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He's up now to 80 yards receiving in the ballgame, and he's got a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Mariota. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
Different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to pick up a first down.
This offense in midseason form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. Now Mariota. Complete to Zacchaeus. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Back to the ground now. Patterson. 4 yards the pickup. First down. Here's Mariota. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. To throw again on 2nd down. Mariota. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will extend their lead even further. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Winston. That pass complete to Deontay Hardy. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards, good for a Saints first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. The Saints in the hurry up here, clock continuing to roll. Looking sideline, incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Atlanta prepped and ready for its next possession. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
Throwing again on second down. Mariota. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons.
Well, it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
Mariota now to throw on first down. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, you always hate to see injuries, especially tough here in week 1. Just hoping this is nothing serious. We'll take a quick timeout. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. A shotgun handoff to Patterson. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Third down, here's Patterson. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On 4th down, Dom Maggio out to punt. Deontay Hardy deep for New Orleans. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Well, the Saints offense going to head out now late in this first half. Well, Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here. But with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it. Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
First down, Winston. In trouble, and he's taken down. Final play of the half here, Winston. His throw incomplete. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Saints. And not much went right in those first 2 quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And we'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. The Falcons ready to go back to work to start the third quarter. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box, establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one. So now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
First and 10, it's Patterson. To the 43, second down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Once more, they turn to Patterson. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Mariota on 3rd and 2. Oh, he's got his tight end pitch complete. And he's going to have a Falcons first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
A first down throw for Mariota. This one left side caught by Patterson. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Mariota, and that is incomplete. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Mariota. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Taco Charlton with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
Well, obviously the pass rush gets the glory and the statistics on this play, but the coverage, they deserve a ton of credit too. Denied open windows, erased the quarterback's targets one by one. Everywhere he looked, someone was covered. Only a matter of time before someone got there to bring him down.
The Falcons send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
That certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. looking out of the gun. Winston. And Winston lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. 20. And this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop and score for the Falcon TD. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone. Now Young Wei Koo for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football. We witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This taken in at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
A second down throw for Winston. That pass is caught by Hardy. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And a hard-earned yard there as he ran through one would-be tackler. It's second down. Second down, and it's Kamara again. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, the medical staff checks on him. We'll step aside in this Week 1 contest. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Winston now. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They're continuing to rock and roll. And at intermission, maybe sometimes you fear after such a good first half of a letdown, but that wasn't the case.
And what I remember most about being in those situations is exactly what you're talking about. You almost have that sense of satisfaction. You're like, we're doing really well. I remember one time someone saying, winning's fun, but so is playing really well. Why would we want to do otherwise? That was the message, to keep the intensity up, to keep things going. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from this team.
Yeah, it's helped them extend their lead. So a little more space to operate now. 1st and 10 from right around the 12. They'll go option to the short side. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15.
He's brought down at the 15-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
On 2nd and 7, Mariota. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. On 3rd down, Mariota looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Edwards. And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. And a fair catch taken here right at about the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Winston. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. Here comes the Saints punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow, out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Well, he's certainly not going to see a better punt than that. Definitely taking a chance, because if that thing clips the pylon, it comes out to the 20, but instead, it goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They have picked up right where they left off in half number 1, just looking really dominant, extending this lead.
And it's fun to see when teams actually do that, because so many times you go into the half after playing well, and you kind of relax a little bit. We've got this. We can kind of punch the button whenever we get good and ready. But for a team to keep the intensity and keep the execution up and come back after the half and play so well, that's actually really, really nice to see.
And a pedal to the metal. That's what we're seeing right now. And they finally take him down, but not before he reaches the 43. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. 1st down.
So that run there, yeah, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see.
And what I really enjoyed about that run and what made it so impressive to me was how he improvised along the way. Sometimes on a big play, you just get the football and you take off in a straight line and go. But this time, how about the artistry of that play? That looked a little bit like a Picasso to me.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll try to throw now. Mariota.
He's got his man, London, right side.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10.
Mariota now.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
From the red zone now, Mariota. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore.
And the Saints are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
as they come to the line. They will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On second down and 4, Winston. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
Looking to throw again on second down. Winston back to Kamara for another catch. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Now Winston. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incomplete.
Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he could do there. And he winds up giving the ball away.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. Right side run with Patterson. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Here's Mariota, option left. And he's going to be met at about the 43. The Falcons on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 10. Hand off running left, Patterson. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. That also a career-long kick for the veteran, Charles.
Yeah, how about what he just got done there? We always knew he had a big leg. But how about everything coming together perfectly on that one? Great leg swing, and bang that one through.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this 4th quarter. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And Thomas has it. A gain of 8 there on the play, and it'll be 2nd and a couple. Now Winston. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Casey Hayward. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Give to Patterson, running to the right. And able to get this to the 31. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll go option to the short side. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And that will be incomplete. On 4th down, Mariota is off, and on comes Atlanta's Younghoe Koo. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3, and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Jameis again. And this one too low. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. And that is incomplete here. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Winston. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2. If they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
Patterson running between the tackles. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. On 2nd down, a run with Patterson. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. 3rd and short yardage, Mariota. And that's knocked away and incomplete. On 4th down, Mariota is off, and on comes Atlanta's Younghoe Koo. And this one a 41-yard attempt. And they're going to fake it. He wants to throw it here. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Saints will have the football back. The New Orleans offense set to take over. A kind of a lucky break on the prior drive, Charles. The turnover on downs that the offense had didn't come back to bite them after the other side. Their defense came through, was able to hold them without any points.
I would agree with you, partner. A little bit of a lucky break indeed, but you know what they'd say to us? No luck, just pure skill. We rose to the challenge, and we didn't permit a score. That's how we roll.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Charles, if they might temper their aggressiveness now offensively if they get in that fourth down spot again.
Yeah, one would think so, but maybe because they held them, they might go for it again.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Winston. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And that will force a turnover on downs. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
And he'll wind up picking up about 4, as that is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning.
So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
Again, Patterson.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
They have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the 4th quarter.
And that they have in every way. And plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
Running left, here's Patterson.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, CD, simply put, if anyone around the league wasn't paying attention to them to start the season, they will be heading into Week 2. This has been an impressive Week 1 performance.
They've certainly announced that they are ready to go, haven't they? They wanted to send a message out to the rest of the league. You better put your eyes on us. We may be someone you have to reckon with.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Fields it right around the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
And now the Saints get set to trot out there. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in Week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right?
opening the season and you open within the division, you knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Falcons, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.